Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 with our realistic series. I do have a slight problem with mods in that I've got like 3,000 of them, and you know, I'm just going to put the cover on this one and we'll leave the little bit of sorghum that's here in the trailer for now. Yeah, I got a slight problem in that I've got like 3,500 mods on the in my folder, and I can use front loaders on tractors. I can use telehandlers if I go and do a thing like I had to do in the Rizu Forest, where I go here to this one, and I go to the easy arm controls, turn it off and on again, and then I can use the machine. And I can do that with telehandlers and with crane arms and stuff. But for some reason, wheel loaders just don't work. I just cannot get them to crowd backwards and forwards. The main arm will lift up and down, but the front loader bit doesn't work at all. It will not tilt backwards and forwards, and I've no idea why. I've got a mod conflict somewhere, but with 3,500 mods on my game, I don't really want to have to go through and check them all. So if anybody has had experience with that, please let me know what your solution was, because it's going to be troublesome. I'd quite like to be able to use a wheel loader on this series, because I feel that this is ideally suited to it. But anyway, we need to go to bed. It is September. The season has changed. And for the very first season change, as I said, I'm not doing a random event. So from this point on, every season change, we will do a random event. But not on this first one. Now, most of the crops that we want to plant are not going to be planted this autumn. I'm going to check on, well, we can check on the chickens via this one. So they're still on 0. Their productivity is on 83%. And we have 108 pieces of eggs. Now, I'm curious if later on, once we get the protein animal feed in, will that make a difference? We've got an egg pallet there, and we'll be able to eventually sell some eggs, and that would be absolutely fantastic. That tractor can stay hitched in on there. I need to go and find my other tractor, because there is one bit of planting that I do want to do, and that is, I decided I was going to plant barley in one of the fields. So we'll end up buying field 36 over here. It's now ready to harvest. So rather than waiting for that one to harvest, farmland, let's buy it right now. I'm going to buy that one. And I'm going to buy the biogas plant so we can get digestate over there. And then that one and that one will be ready for doing stuff with, for planting corn. So I'll go back to the map overview. I've got these 3 fields here that we'll be doing other things with. It's field 22. So we're going to do pistachio, lentils and chickpeas in 23 and 34. 24 is going to be sunflowers. 22 is going to be the barley. So we want to go up there, which means I need this tractor down here. And I'm going to take that one up so that we can start on the barley. I'm going to need to get over to the biogas plant and buy it. I'll do that now so that we've bought that one and then we own it. And then I'm not going to accidentally go and spend the money that I might want for that on something else, which would be a disaster. So if I get this seed drill here, I believe this is a direct seed drill. I really hope it is, because otherwise I'm going to have to redo some stuff. I have some seed and I have some fertilizer in storage. As I said, all fertilizer on the farm at the moment, I'm making the assumption that it's organic fertilizer that has been produced using that one right there. We can go and buy manure from the animal dealership, and we can bring that back. We just need to produce some digestate in order to be able to make more fertilizer, but we should have enough fertilizer to start off with that we can go and do everything that we need to do. One thing that I am going to do is I think that this bit right here, like, I know that we got the road right there, but I do feel that we should be able to just drive straight across. Because, I mean, if this was my farm, and yes, this is kind of like the main track across, And you've got that bit there, and it's going over towards the workshop, and then you swing down around into here. But I do feel that this would benefit hugely from having a bit of a track across as well. So even if it wasn't there when I bought the farm, this would actually be something that I would do fairly early on. We don't have a lot of options when it comes to painting, unfortunately. I thought there were a few. We've got a few gravels that we can use, but we don't have a huge amount of options, and that is a little bit unfortunate. I thought there would be more than that on this map. Let's just go with that. So we're going to bring gravel here. Bring that down like that. And I'm going to put that all the way up to about here. So it's not going to be perfectly smooth entrance coming in there. But I think it's going to be all right. I'll just sort of bring that down a little bit. So yeah, it's a little bit of a slope going up. So really, mostly we'd just be driving up through that way. You wouldn't be likely to just swing round to come up here. If you've got a bigger machine, you'd actually drive up, turn round, and then come back down that way if this is the exit that we're going to be using, but we would usually use the other one. The only thing that I am going to need to do, because I want to get rid of those sticks that are there, I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to put, because this one's not used quite as much, so we'll just dot in a little bit of this here, just to sort of show that it's not used as much. And then I'm going to go with grass there and there like that, just to get rid of those sticks. And then if I go back into the painting, we can go with that one there. Like it's a little bit darker there on close to the road. A couple of patches just like that. There. Alright, I think that's pretty good. There. Okay, so now I've got the way to get in across here, so that I can go and access these. I'll bring that one in round here. And you are supposed to put your... Well, depending where you live is when and where you might use flashing beacons. In this country, you don't use flashing beacons on all roads. You only use them on some roads. So I want to fill this one up. So that's filling up with solid fertilizer right there. Actually, the seed... I do actually have to line up the seed spout and the fertilizer spout in order to have that go in there, which I think is really cool. I like that. That is actually something that is really good. That's a nice little touch. Let's close that one back over. So I've got barley in here, which we're going to go and plant, and the planting window for all the other crops that we want to do this year is in spring. In spring, I'm probably going to wait until April and do the whole lot in April. Well, I might get a couple of them in a bit earlier. We'll sort of see. So, chickpeas and lentils, both those fields we can plant in March if we want to. Sunflowers I could also do in March, but I'm thinking maybe we'll leave the sunflowers until a little bit later. We've got corn that we want to plant as well. So it's corn and sunflowers, and then the chickpeas and lentils, and it's all spring cropping. So what's the best way to get to field 22? I need to... Where am I? I'm here. Right, I do need to go out onto the road. So we go out. And again, this track here, it makes sense to have this one here. Yes, it's a little bit rough going out that way, but it does make sense. If you're going from the seed thing and you're heading out to your fields down here, this is the route that we need to take. So, again, that does make sense to me. We want to have that one there. One down this way. It's a good job there's no actual traffic programmed into the map on this corner, because I think otherwise I'd be in a little bit of trouble. Now, I want to go up round here. So I want to go past that one. And it's this next field up here. Got a fence along the rock edge of that one. That's pretty cool. And here we are. The very first field that we're going to plant. This one hasn't been ploughed up or anything. We've got in here... I could go and mulch it, I suppose, but you can only get a 100% boost. So you can do a combination. You can leave some things out if you can still get your 100% boost. So sometimes you wouldn't need to roll and mulch if you've got the right fertilizer. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can get more than a 100% boost. There's something that maybe could be looked at a little bit later. We could do a little bit of experimentation or something, I'm not sure. Field 24 and 35, we will need to put lime on them. We can do that at some point during the winter. And I need to get the planting done over there. Not planting, the harvest. So I just want to have a look at how much it's going to cost us for a potato harvester. Now, this is the base game one. And this is the one that I actually really like to get. Because I think this thing looks really cool. And it's way different to any that I've used before. The original one that we used to get was like this. There we go. It was that one. And so we've used this one quite a bit. Well, I've used it quite a bit. This is the 4 harvesters that we've got. That one is one that's edited by Stevie. So it's actually a sugar beet harvester. Stevie always edits the sugar beet harvesters and then lets you harvest potatoes with them. But I actually really like this potato harvester over here. That was 100,000 more than this one, unfortunately. So there's a slight difference in price. So this one here, to lease this one, is going to cost us 25,000 to start off with, and then 10,000 per work hour, which is slightly insane. This one, obviously it's going to be more, it's 12,500 per work hour. It's going to cost us a lot of money. Whichever way we do it, it's going to cost us a lot of money to harvest that field of potatoes that I have now gone and committed and bought. And I said to start with I didn't want to. But then we needed potatoes, and we've got potatoes planted over there. So, yeah, I've done it now. I've committed myself, and I may regret that decision. That might be something I regret. What was this field? You know, I never actually checked. We should be doing proper crop rotations. We should. Oh, it was wheat. It's not unusual to put barley into a field after you've grown wheat in there. That isn't unusual. I said in a previous episode that I thought that canola might be a nitrogen fixer, as in it puts nitrogen back into the fields, into the land. It doesn't. I got that wrong. Canola or oilseed rape, depending where you're from, that's not a nitrogen fixer. Wheat is one of the worst ones for taking the nitrogen out of the soil, and canola doesn't, but it doesn't put it back into the field. It doesn't take as much nitrogen out of the field as some other crops do. So yeah, the ones that are actual nitrogen fixers, the crops that do actually put it back into the soil, are lentils, which, well, all types of lentils. So it's beans and peas and stuff like that. So soybeans in the game is the only one that would do that. So soybeans are actual nitrogen fixers. So if we put that in, you in theory, you should get like a bonus the following year for your nitrogen rates. But we're not playing with the precision farming app. I don't really want to mess around with that one. But we've also got chickpeas as well on this map, and the chickpeas would be one. Alrighty then. Real life interrupted for just a moment. I don't know if you heard the high-pitched squealing in the background. That was the fire alarm going off in my house, the smoke detector. I mean, it's good that they do work, but yeah. So that was... Don't worry, it was nothing. It was just something gotten a little bit too hot and started the surface it was sitting on smoking, which it shouldn't have done. And a chat will be had with the culprit a little bit later. Don't worry. So yes, it's nothing to worry about, and I'm going to carry on here. So I'm actually I might just... It's not like it ever comes as a surprise. I'm going to just stop at this corner, and then when I come back, we will carry on and do another round around the outside edge of this field. Although, actually, I think I might just leave the hired help working on this field, and we can go and get started on the potato harvest, because the potato harvest is the important thing that we need to do. That's our next sort of big, important task. After the potato harvest, we've then got a few other bits that we do need to do. I don't know if this one... just just trying to think what would be the best angle to do this field at. I think, actually, we'll just keep it sort of straight. Yeah, we'll get started on potato harvest, and I do think that we're going to try hiring the really big potato harvester, and we'll see how that works, because there is the chance that this will be like one of the few big root crop harvests that we do. It just depends if we get something really unlucky with our storage, because there's that one random event. We have to get rid of the crop that we've got the most stored, and if we do harvest all of these potatoes and stick them in storage, it's going to be those. We're going to get a lot of potatoes off of here, so we're going to need not only that, but we're going to want trailers in order to be able to move them. That's going to be the other big thing, is trailers to move the whole lot. So yeah, we'll sort of figure that out, but we'll do that when I get back. And I'm back again, which for you is probably not very long at all, but unfortunately in the intervening space of time I've actually forgotten what crops I said that I was going to plant. I know that I was going to put chickpeas and lentils into 2 of the fields, and I'm pretty sure I was going to do sunflowers. I was just looking through the different machine, well, the production machine things that we've got. The Coronella ones, like the pig food one, does require sunflowers, and also I think it's sugar beet. But I need sugar beet in order to be able to make the animal protein stuff, so I'm going to have to grow sugar beet here somewhere. So I'm pretty sure I did say I was going to do sugar beet, although I'm not 100% certain. I did ask if there were crops that you... not crops, if there was a particular animal that you wanted to see. And I heard people say that they want to see sheep on this map. Other animals, not so much. Someone did say horses. And that if I use the... I think it's the open air mod. Or the open pens mod, actually. I was literally about to stop to have a look at it. I'll do that in just a second. If we go and just finish our second pass around on this field, we can then go and have a look at that. Apparently the horses with the open pens mod, they do actually produce manure, and I'll be honest, I'm not keen on the idea of having horses. I'm not a horse person. The horses know it, and I know it, and so we respect each other very much by staying well away from each other. So I'm in no rush to go and have horses, and also with this game, you have to like exercise them and stuff. I know that there is a mod you can get that exercises the horses for you, but I'm really not into horses, so I'm not kind of wanting to do that. But I'll take a quick look at them, and well, I'll look at that pen and see if it says anything specific. But I don't have plans to do horses. I've never wanted to do those, and it's sort of nothing really has changed on that front. So I'm probably not going to go and do horses now either. I'm just going to bring this up to here, and then we can take a look at them. The potatoes are actually ready to harvest. I'm on 5 times speed ticking along at the moment. We'll drop that down to 3. The timescale doesn't matter. I'm not having anything set on the timescale. I did have some feedback, actually, from the random events that I have set up. But yeah, for the most part, you all seem quite happy with them. There's a few little issues with some of them seem a little bit repetitive, that kind of thing, but generally we got some balance, so I can tweak those as we go along, and we'll sort of worry about it as we get to it. So that one is doing just fine there, and it was the animal pen that I was going to take a look at. Animals, horses, the stables with larger pastures, wooden pasture. Oh, fenceless husbandries, was this it? A free-range horse barn. That does actually take... Oh, I see. With the with this map, any of the horse things, you got to put in the extra bit of... It looks like, actually, that's a thing that is on all of them. You do actually have to go and put in the protein for them all. Well, not the cows. You don't. You do with chickens and you do with horses. Pigs. Oh, you need the balanced pig food, plus you need the protein, plus you need a root crop. Well, this is different. I actually quite like this. All right. Sheep was another one. Several people said, oh, yes, we should have sheep. And this one... Well, that, the Sosnovka Goldcrest, well, where was the one I just seen? There was one I just seen that had manure coming out of it. Sheep that produce me some manure would be really good. Unless I was still clicked on... Oh, no, there, right. Oh, that's a building of Norway. That's one of the bit that I don't like about these is that they don't have any animals on the outside. So I do like the Norway buildings, but you don't have animals outside. They are all inside. You don't have I don't think there's any visual at all for the animals, and I don't like that. So, for that reason, I probably wouldn't use that one anyway. This is one of the dairy sheep pastures, so you can get milk from them. I don't know if you have to have that specific barn in order to get that. I'm assuming that maybe you would, although it doesn't actually say anything about the milk coming out of there. A place to keep dairy sheep. So maybe it's extra sheep or something like that. There doesn't seem to be any others that have sheep with manure. So anyway, like sheep with... sheep is something that people have said about. I quite like the idea of pigs, actually, because of this extra balance that we've got to put in. Cows is just the standard TMR, which we've done many times. And we have done pigs before, but yeah, well, so we'll see how that plays out. I do want to just finish this one up because we might be glad of these... not these plows. We might be glad of this tractor. So if we just finish this up. And I had a couple more comments about my choice of plows, saying that it's very unusual now to have anyone using a front-mounted plow. You would generally use just a bigger plow on the back of the tractor, and well, yeah, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. I'm going for a realistic series, and yes, you probably wouldn't use a front-mounted plow on a field like this. I will grant you that. You probably wouldn't use it on a field like this. However, just because it's not very common doesn't mean we can't do it. And, like, you do have these plows. Another thing that was pointed out was the fact that I needed to upgrade my tractor quite a bit in order to be able to use the extra plow. So now I've got like a 400 horsepower tractor in order to be able to do this plow. I would say that there's nothing actually wrong with that, because if you have a look, we've got a 6-furrow reversible plow on the back, and we have a 4-furrow reversible plow on the front. And I would argue that to pull a standard 10-furrow reversible plow, you still need a 400 horsepower tractor. I don't think the power of the tractor has been wrongly utilized for this particular setup. I don't think that there's any actual issue with that, not for me personally at least. So that bit I think is quite realistic and is absolutely fine. But anyway, we're only just going to do this bit here, and then we won't be using our plow setup for a little while. I may come back and do some more grass in here if we do decide to do some sheep as well as the pigs. Then we'll see. There's so much that I want to do on this map. Like, we're literally just getting started now. There is so many different things that I want to do on here. It is slightly ridiculous. Let's say slightly... I'm going to have a lot of fun doing this. I really am. I think I'm going to have a huge amount of fun doing this map. I think that the whole thing is just going to be fantastic. So, I personally, I'm really looking forward to, like, getting... seeing all the different things. I know that I'm already on week 3 on this, and, like, time does tick by. So, I'm quite sort of... now getting into it, and I get the feeling that this is the kind of map where you could spend a lot of hours, and that is one thing that is kind of against us with any series, is I can't put in those kinds of hours unless it's like a time-lapse series, and I know that for most of you watching this, you're not here for time-lapse stuff, you're here for, well, me talking and doing stuff, so it's a little bit different. I've got to try and get that balance that we aim for. Right, just got to finish up this little bit, and then we're done. We can take the plows back, we'll hose them off, and we will give them a quick service, put them away in the shed, and then we need to... One, we need to get our harvester, and I said before, I'm not going to buy the harvester. I'm going to... Oops, no. I want to go to the front one. I'm going to lift the front one. I'm going to lease a potato harvester. I'm not sure if that's going to be a good idea or not, but I'm kind of hoping that it does work out for us. Right, I've just done Control B. I don't know if that is actually going to spin both of them, and apparently it's not, so I've got to manually do that back one as well. And then I can bring them over here and then drop that one in, and away we go. Okay, so we've just got one more little bit that we've got to do after this. I really like this front-mounted. I've never used a front-mounted plow, and it's something that I would like to have a go with. Well, mind you, I have never really done very much ploughing anyway. Like, it's not a job that I've done much of. I've done maybe half a day. That's it, sum total in my entire farming career. Most of my farming career, though, has been looking after animals and, you know, grass-related stuff, things like that. It's all to do with looking after, well, mostly sheep or cattle. So I've not... oh no, those two bits there are round the poles. So yeah, I haven't really done a huge amount of arable work apart from like a year and a half when I was working on an arable farm. But when I worked there, I didn't get to do any ploughing because the ploughing was done by one person in particular, and yeah, I just never got a chance to actually go and do a little bit with him. I did pretty much everything else on that farm except for the ploughing. And well, also the spraying as well. Spraying was another thing that I wasn't allowed to do, but that was because I was a student and didn't have tickets for using sprayers. So that's kind of understandable. I do love the fact that we've got an office that we've got to walk into with this. This is really cool. Okay, so we want to repair that one. We want to repair that one. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.